Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 4. Yes. Today is the grand finale of our 4-day family trauma detox challenge. And it's been an amazing time. I believe you have been, you've been blessed and things are shifting, narratives are changing, and we're living our purpose according to the blueprint of God for family. So today I'll be looking at how do we survive, how to move from survivor to thriving in your family narrative. So we've been able to analyze the different type of trauma that we tend to experience based on what was passed down to us. But now that we know that we are now adults, we have come to the point of accountability to say, yes, I own my life. I am responsible for the decision that I make. And now, how do I move from survivor mode into thriving, into excelling, into living my purpose? So this is what we'll be looking at today. So I want you to know that because you are from a broken home, that does not mean you are doomed for life. So that does not mean you will be there. That's just the way it is. What you accept it becomes your reality. So the fact that you came from that particular setting does not mean you need to stay there. And your past is not your prison. It is God's special way of bringing beautiful testimonies out of what you have gone through. You know, usually you go through things in life, and if you are able to see it from the positive side, you strive and you thrive and you come out great. You will be able to talk, you will be able to counsel, you'll be able to enlighten people based on your experience. Like I said, your experience is your biggest advantage. So, and that experience include the good, the bad, and the ugly. The Bible said in the book of Romans 8, it said 8:28, it said all things work together for good to them that love God and are those that are called according to his purpose. But for things to work together for you, you must actually plug yourself in God. And when he turned that story around, you really can't trace that past, that background compared to where God wants to actually take you to if you yield yourself to him. So if this is a journey, don't see that you are a problem or something is actually wrong with you or you have missed out on anything. So I want you to understand that God is involved in every phase of your journey. So in understanding brokenness, you need to understand, okay, this is the type of brokenness I've had, and this is the impact it has created. It has made me, I've become so insecure, or I've become self-sabotaging, even in my relationship. I've become manipulative, or I'm even afraid of marriage. I'm afraid of parenting. Are you sure I can? Do you know that there are some persons that believe that are stuck? They just feel so some persons just feel I don't have what it takes to raise a child. Yes, that's a trauma. Some persons just feel, no, I don't have what it takes for me to raise a child. They feel so deficient in themselves, like I can't do it. So even before they start, they just feel, no, I can't. And that's why you see some resolve that, no, I'm not going to get married, or no, let me just have a same sex partner. So all this giving birth will not be there, So it is actually trauma. So you must understand what has happened to you in the process. And of course, now you have to ask yourself, is this has this thing produced anger in me? What kind of anger has it produced in me towards my parents? Some persons are angry with their parents, maybe a particular parent, especially for the fathers. And the statistics have shown that most persons are actually more angry with their fathers than with their mothers. I don't know how it works. I don't know if it's the nurturing part of a woman that has made that thing like that. The way God designed a man, the Bible called a man the priest of the home, the one who delegates discipline and authority in the home. So that is the role of a father, truly. So when a father is not meeting up in that light, and possibly is not, that father is not executing discipline in a very wrong aspect, or the father will just do things that he will say, do what I say, but don't do what I do. You see that he's not living the life. So many people are actually very angry with their parents. Some are angry because they just feel, because of you, I didn't go to school. I would have become a graduate today. And there's something about education. When is a phase, is a season that if you don't utilize that period, even though you will cash it later, it may not look like when you go with your counterparts, with your colleague, that kind of setting. So some people grew up with that anger in them, that my parents, or my father did not allow me go to school, or my mother, they frustrated me. Or it could be as simple as they were not financially capable. This parenting is a whole lot. Your financial capability, everything, like we did in our study, we find out that before God created man, he made everything available for man to live. The trees, the gardens, the animals, everything was in place before God made man. And that is how it ought to be before we bring forth our children. So when you bring forth a child and you lack the financial capacity to actually care for that child, you need to acknowledge that, yes, this is a trauma you have imparted on this child. So, but most times people, I know time and chance happen to everyone and things happen, but most times people grow up with that anger, that they were not taken care of the way they ought to. Can I even announce to you that there's another type of trauma I've also seen, where, let's assume the parents died early, but let's assume both parents died early. Do you know some children can grow up with that anger in their spirit, that my parents don't even love me? If not, why would they leave me alone on this earth? You know, for some person, that is just their trauma. So this, when we say trauma, it's the way you feel about it is different. So that's why don't be tempted to ask the person, why is it this one that is your problem? No, it is the person's problem. So learn to validate people's feeling. If this person tell you, this is how I feel like my parents just brought me to this earth and they left me. That's why I say it is, God can do for you what even your parents can't do. So this is where embracing God and finding a safe community is also very important. So you see that anger is there. Many persons are actually angry with their parents for some reason or the other. And I've seen a kind of trauma where people are even angry with God. Yes, some persons are even angry with God. Where you say, if how can a good God allow bad things to happen? So trauma is actually even affected, is even affecting people's relationship with God, because they feel, how can God just allow me go through this? Or because the way your parents raised you, the kind of bitterness, resentment, the way they dealt with you, you just feel, if an earthly parent can do this to me, well, then is it the God I'm not seeing? If the one I'm seeing? So these things, they play out in our relationship with God and with others. So you must be able to identify it, the brokenness. Where is this brokenness coming from? Or isolation, addiction, like we have said. So these are the ways that it can actually play out in our relationship. Then when you identify that brokenness, you now move from a state of survivor to wholeness. Yes, so you tell yourself, survivor is you just tell yourself, okay, I'm just here. I'm just going to cope with the situation. Yes, after all, I'm here. But to thrive is no, I'm going to be intentional about this situation. I'm going to be purposeful. I'm going to make a living out of this. I'm not going to let the situation swallow me. It's just like let me use I don't know, for some reason Joseph is still one of my unique character in the Bible when it comes to trauma. This is somebody that as a teenager he was sold at, so the situation was so traumatic for him, and it could have just allowed that situation to swallow him. He got to that place, though he obtained favor. Now a lot of lies on him that and of course he was in the prison. We all know the story, we are familiar with it. He could have allowed that situation to solve him, but no, he saw things from the brighter side of life. He lived purposefully. The point where Joseph looked at Potiphar's wife and said, to tell her that, um to say, I'm not going to commit this sin against my master and against God. That is purposeful living, is intentional. That no, even though I find myself here where it looks like I'm a slave, I'm not going to behave like a slave. I'm not going to carry a slavery mentality. You understand the situation? So he was sold into slavery, but he saw himself through the eyes of God that no, I'm not a slave. I am the child of the king. I have a father. I have someone I'm accountable to. I have someone who holds my life together. So that in itself it kept Joseph in a very good state of health. So he lived purposefully. He was striving rather than surviving. A survivor will just say, let me just sleep with her. After all, if I sleep with Potiphar's wife, she will, I will not become the head of all that kind of, you would, so what really would Joseph have become compared to the decision of not doing what he did, of taking the step he took? You see how God elevated him. So that slavery mentality, we need to kill it. The fact that you were born into a traumatic family background, that does not, you should not allow that to shape your mentality to a level where you've become so, you feel so useless, and you are not ready to even dare to start anything. In fact, that should even be your greatest motivation, that yes, I'm going to turn these things around. Nobody will look at me and identify and still be able to label me with the family I'm coming from. It should be, for me, it should be a challenge. I just want to use this last day of this program to challenge you. That's, yes, a lot has happened to you. You have been disappointed time and time again, but take it as a challenge that yes, I'm going to rise from this situation. I'm going to live. I'm going to live. So don't die when you can actually live. So choose to live, not to tilt into survival mode. We've seen cases where people now engage in drug addiction, prostitution, all form of vices, because they are now in survival mode. Just anything goes, anything that wants to be, let it just be. After all, that was how I came, that was how I met everything. So it's not me, I'm not the one that started it. So it can just still continue. No, you strive to make the difference, and you strive to live your purpose. So the way these things can affect us, it's actually varies. So, and we must learn to validate each person's feeling and know that yes, healing is possible. So to strive is to live intentionally. Yes, I'm not going to be intentional about my life. Okay, for instance, you grew up in a family where polygamy was the order of the day. No, there was no there was no, you can trace how many generations and you see polygamy was just the thing. So when you are not married, you need to be intentional to say, yes, if this thing is a pattern in my family, I'm going to make sure with the help of God that my home works or my marriage work. So that is where intentionally you put in the work. You just intentionally put in the work. You just have to. Because if you don't do that, you will just, most times we find out that we see ourselves repeating the pattern unknowingly to us. So you have to be intentional with your decision. And of course, you need to set clear boundaries. If you are coming from a place of trauma, boundaries is one of the key word when it comes to trauma, because you don't need to be in the same space that you are not that always keep you down, in terms of, if that dysfunctional environment is not helping you, you need to leave that space. You need to look for an environment where you can be uplifted. So boundaries is very important. It's one of the intentional ways you use to protect yourself and say, no, I'm going to live, and because I'm going to live, and I'm going to be intentional with the type, and this boundary include the type of friends you keep, your association, your communication, the people you surround yourself with, because what you hear each day make you. So you set boundaries for this. And of course, emotional regulation. You need to regulate your emotion. For instance, if anger is one of the trauma, or one of the effects of trauma in your family, where everybody is traumatized because the communication style that operates in that family was just maybe fighting or being aggressive. So anger is the order of the day. You need to be intentional about your emotional management, and that is where emotional intelligence comes to play. You need to intentionally tell yourself, yes, I'm going to put my emotions under regulation. For instance, you came from a family where let's assume teenage pregnancy is the order of the day. Nobody truly gets married at a proper age or legally married. So when you come from that setting, you need to now tell yourself, yes, these emotions that not that usually lure people or lure members of my family not to attain certain heights, or not to get married legally, or not to get married in a proper way, in an official way, or in a godly way. I'm going to put this emotion under subjection. I'm not going to let it affect. So emotional regulation is also very, very key for you to come into the reality of what God has destined for you. Like, I will not stop saying that it can start with a generation and it can end with you to say, yes, this is another generation. This is a new life. This new life, I'm going to continue it from here. So you don't have to give up on yourself. It just means you have a lot of work to do. And if you pay the price, it becomes easier for your children. That's one thing I know. What your parents could not give to you, if you dare to pay the price for them, it becomes easier. And that is how we correct the anomaly. And you now raise a sane generation. You now raise a wholesome family that cannot raise another wholesome family. You see the flow. So the fact that something happened to you, please and please, I won't stop emphasizing this. Don't stay there. Tell yourself, with the help of God, I'm coming out from it and I will be the best. And a testimony. And just know that the Bible says God chooses the weak things to confound the wise. Those things you think, they are just mistake everywhere, mistake, error. God has, with God there's no mistake. And you can't say that's, so some persons are at a level where they're even angry with God. Why did you even bring me into this family? Why am I even here? They are even angry with God. With God there is no mistake. You don't have mistake with God. So you just have to look at it and call on that God, and like, ask him, how can I come out from this? And there is solution. So emotional regulation, please, very, very important. The Bible said that you must put your body under. You must put it. See, Samson could not regulate his emotion, and we saw what happened. So you must put your body. God did not desire Samson to die at the age he died. There was a very great plan. There was a lot of great plans for Samson, but because there were a lot of great plans, but because he did not put his emotion under subjection, what happened? He died at an early age. So we must learn to regulate our emotions. Very important. And of course, for you to achieve, for you to thrive, you need a safe relationship. You need a safe space, a safe relationship, and of course, a faith-based identity and purpose. So you must connect with people with same purpose and identity. I want you to know that you need to forget the former things. Most of us we end up we are still in the past. We are still in the past. We are still in the past. And when you are in the past, you really can't, you need to forget the things of the past. Okay, for instance, God Himself, He is your creator. Hmm? He created you and He told you that your sin, I will remember them no more. This is God speaking now. He said, your sin, I will remember them no more. This is God said it not because He's the ancient of days. Oh, He now have loss of memory, therefore He forgot. So because of that old age and everything, so He can't even remember my sin again. No, that's not it. He chose to forgive you. He chose not to remember your sins anymore. But many of us are still stuck in the past, releasing forgiveness to ourselves. You are stuck in the past where you don't want to even release forgiveness to those that cause that you say, okay, these are the people that caused me this trauma. So you need to leave the past, forget the former things, and look at what's ahead. Apostle Paul say, I press towards the mark. Forget those things which are behind. That is the only way you can thrive. That is the only way you can grow. You must put your future ahead of you. You know, there's something about the picture of your future. It helps you. When you know that, yes, no, it's not a function of where I'm coming from. I'm great. I'm going to be great. So the thing is, what do you see about yourself? What do you see about it? What's the picture of your future? Are you still stuck in the past? So you must present a picture that will keep you going. Like Jesus, the Bible said that for the joy that was set before him, he endured the cross. The joy. He put a picture in his heart. Okay, if I'm able to endure this cross, I will sit in the right hand of the Father. I will indeed become the beloved of the Father. For that purpose, you saw strength came and he was able to fulfill the cause. So you must put something ahead of you. That's oh, for this purpose, I'm doing away with the past and I'm pressing on. I'm going to press on. I'm going to press on. So forget about what has happened to you. You must let it go. Leave it in the past and press on to your future. That is the only way you can recover your true identity, who God has made you to be. I want you to know that your identity is not in your trauma, it is in Christ. So even though many things happen along the line, God is in it. For instance, we saw Mephibosheth, yes, in the Bible. This was an innocent child that, for some carelessness of due to the carelessness of the nurse, he became crippled. But he became crippled, and that was not how God intended it. But when it came to a particular time, restoration came. David had to acknowledge him, and even though he saw himself like a dog, he said, who am I, a dog that you can see? Many of us, how do you see yourself? How do you see yourself? So your healing starts with, how do I see myself? You must come to that point where you know that no, it's not what my trauma gave to me. It is what God says about me. So what do you see? So Mephibosheth saw himself like a dog, like nothing good can come out from me anymore. A crippled man. No. So he came out from that position, and David had to David gave him a kind of honor that, yes, you can't tell me this honor belongs to a dog. You are highly prized. And that is how God sees you. So your trauma should not define your identity. Your identity is in Christ. Yeah, so usually what happens is God usually converts the victim to a victor. And that's your test, that's your situation that you are going through. A testimony wants to come out from it. And see, that is why your vulnerability is very key. No need to, don't need to hide it, because there are people, you are not called for everybody. I want to say this so that you understand that your purpose inside that traumatic situation, there lies your purpose. So, for instance, you were a lady that engaged in certain activities in the past or rough activities, and do you know you can have a ministry where you gather teenagers and you talk to them not to live that life. You can even go be that vulnerable to share your own and share the effect, how it affected you. And lives, destiny, souls will be blessed. So inside that your situation, there is a ministry in it. None of your experience is a waste. I want you to convert everything. In fact, there's a way, there's a kind of holy anger in your spirit that yes, for everything that the devil has dealt with me, I'm going to convert it. And it should stir something in you to want to activate that greatness that God has deposited in you. So God has great things in store for us. You are not the rejected one. You are the chosen one. So you need to rebuild emotional and spiritual foundation. Yes, for instance, you were taught that expressing emotion has to be in a very radical, or your emotion needs to be silenced because you were being told, don't talk, you talk too much, that kind of thing. So you need to learn a whole lot of emotional intelligence to rebuild this. And of course, your spiritual intimacy with God is very, very important, because in your daily communication with God, there lies your healing. God is a true healer. God is the true healer. He said he is near to the brokenhearted. He's the one that can heal, that can mend it. And when God is, the beauty with God is when he mend it, you can't even trace where the brokenness is anymore. That's it. That's my testimony. Yes. So you can't trace it. So God can actually heal you, but you need a relationship with him. And of course, look for a community. Yes, where healing is being accelerated in a safe place, where there is a healthy relationship, healthy conversation, everybody is being valued. So we need that to grow. Then, one thing I want to say is nothing stops you from fulfilling your purpose. That's education that you think you did not have. But the other day, I made mention that a living dog is better than a dead lion. The fact that that traumatic situation did not swallow you, you didn't die in the process, it means that yes, something good can still come out. So whatever that is your pain, start living the life. Who told you that that book you were supposed to write, you can't write it? Who told you that that's a ministry you wanted to execute, you can't start it? Who told you that that education that has become your pain, you are so pained, you can't just start? So you can always start from somewhere. Don't give up on yourself. Start anyway, wherever you find yourself, just start living that life, living your purpose. Don't allow the situation you have gone through to drain your purpose down. So we must come to that point where we tell ourselves, yes, I'm going to live an awesome life, a flawless. So when we say awesomeness, it's not a life that is without flaws per se, but there is integrity, there is intentionality, and there is inner peace. Yes, so it's you just it's a journey. You begin to walk that journey unto perfection. The Bible said that the path of the just shines brighter and brighter unto the perfect day. So you begin to shine brighter. You come out from that pit, that horrible pit that trauma has placed you, and you begin to see lights, and in your light, others will come to the light. That's one thing I know. If you don't rise, if you don't rise, you will not shine. and people are waiting for your light. So that situation you went through, that painful event, convert it. Something can come out from it. So I just want to encourage us, be encouraged. Don't stay in that space where you feel it's all over. It's not all over. You may be born into dysfunction, but you are born into dominion. God has God's intention from the beginning is that you should dominate, you should rule. And God can rewrite your story in broken ink. Even that difficult situation can be changed. So I just want you to live your life to the fullest, to the fullest. And as you release forgiveness, as you tell yourself, yes, I've forgiven myself, I forgive those that offended me, I'm going to live my life, I'm going to regain, yes, I'm going to reclaim that which trauma has taken away from me. I'm going to reclaim my identity again. I'm going to live. So until you tell yourself nothing much can be done. This is not what you say. No, it's not what somebody can do for you. You have to make a personal resolve that no, I'm not going to allow this situation swallow me. I'm going to come out and come out strong. So it's something we should promise ourselves and should work towards. And of course, this space we need. This is a very um this is a very uh, wonderful environment where at least we're able to share and say, okay, yes, this is what I went through. This is what I went through. And this is how I overcame. This is how God helped me. This is where I am at this moment. And this is where I hope to be. So that safe space is also very important. And one challenge I want you to go with is the way you are raising your children now. Ask yourself, what generation do I want to create? Is it still a generation coming out from trauma, or a wholesome generation? So that is where the things that where your challenges, those pain you went through as a child, be intentional not to allow your children go through them. Be intentional not to, but there's a thin line there where most times we find out that uh, all in the name of discipline, we call it discipline. We want to force so many things on our children. So you're going to do it with love, make sure even your discipline is not coming from a place of trauma. In fact, you just have to do away with trauma, or else it can affect even your good intention, can be evil spoken of if you are still traumatized. Yes, so we must keep an awesome mind. Yes, that no, I am not venting my frustration on my children. Okay, let's say for instance, you were being um you had some form of, let's say you experienced teenage pregnancy, let me put it that way now, and you get married, you have your children. The way you monitor them, there is a way you do it in an excessive manner. You will even push the children out, because I've seen cases where children will say that even things they did not do, you want to, who is that boy, who is this one, there's a way you do it. The child will say, I didn't do anything, yet you're accusing me. Okay, let me start doing it. So we need to give it a balance to be sure that we're not transferring our trauma to our children. So the way you are parenting your children now, are you sure you are not going to raise another generation of traumatized family? No, so that is where the intentionality and the consciousness comes to play. And another reason why I would want us to also thrive, yes, thrive to make sure you live your dream, is that if you don't, you will be frustrated. It comes with a lot of frustration, especially as parents. You are raising children and you are not able to live your dream. What happens is you end up venting such frustration on your children. And you say, this is where they say, after everything I did for you, after everything I did for you, you start being manipulative. I used an instance the other day where if you are a single mother, you don't seek your own self-care, or you don't seek you don't try to see how you can manage the situation. You just want to, there's a way, like I said, there's a way society impose so many things on us. We just feel, if I raise this child alone, as if there's a trophy they will give to you for raising the child all by yourself. So if you have help, please go for seek help. If there is help, call for help. So society puts you in that state, and you will do all that, only getting to old. When you get to old age, you see that you didn't really actually live your life. So which can actually be very, very frustrating. So live your life. For instance, what I'm doing now, for me, I call it impact. I'm making my own impact. I'm living my life, even though at this season of life I have children who are, young children. I still tell myself, no, I'm going to live. I'm not going to allow this. There's a way. Also, some persons, even their, especially let's say stay at home mom, or you are not working the way you ought to. Many things are not really going the way they ought to. You can be swallowed in that atmosphere. So the thing is, don't allow any stage of your life, don't allow anything to swallow your dreams. Live your dreams, strive to live your dream. So I tell myself, no, what can I do from where I am at this moment? What can I do? I don't want to grow to become that woman that, because of, most times we find out that even due to idleness, you don't even have anything doing. You will just be, your children are not married, you are still calling their attention because you don't even have a life. So you must have a life. Your children have their life. You live your life. So you don't end up transferring, venting frustration, venting anger, everything on your children. And by the time you're doing that, you are selling you are selling the wrong ideology of who a parent should be to that child. So live your life. Nothing stop you from living your life. Not even your past, not even the trauma that came with it. But it begins with a decision. And that decision, you are the only one that can make it. God said, I set before you good and evil. He not gave us options. He said, choose good so that you will live. So it is solely your decision to live, to say, no, I'm going to recover all that trauma has taken away from me. I'm going to live my life to the fullest. So I just want to quickly let you know that yes, it is possible take take back what the devil or what the past has taken away from you. You can't take it back. I want to create that consciousness in you. And whatever that is your dream, live it. Thank you so much. We're not going to stay so long today. Today is the final day. I don't want to keep you so long. If you have any question, just set it rolling. You can drop it on the comments section. Yes, you can drop it on the comment section. So just, yeah, so I hope you can still hear me. You can see me. I hope I've not been talking to myself. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Yeah, Shidima, I can see you. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, Asiri can see you and hear you.
Oh, thank you, Dolores. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. So I just want to say I'm excited we are here today. And I want to say that don't allow the past to stop you from your future. The Bible says, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. It has not even got into the heart of men the things God has prepared for those who love Him. So, what God wants to make of your life, Nobody have seen it. It's still a mystery that God that will be unfolded. But you need to come to a place of consciousness that yes, now I know my place in Christ. Now I know my identity in Christ. I'm here to claim back everything. Because if you don't know, you will live like a slave, whereas you are the child of a king. The prodigal son understood that. He knew that he got to a place, he said, no, no, no. This place that I am is not better at all. If I even go back to my father, if I'm even a slave to my father, it's even better. But what happened when he came? He did not just get the place of being a slave, he got the place of being a son, his rightful place. And I want you to know that despite that traumatic situation that you have gone through, God can still put you in your rightful position. See, when God restores, He restores completely. He is the God of restoration. So I want you to put your confidence first in Him. And of course, this kind of community where we are here, you don't know what these words are doing to your spirit as you're hearing it. A lot is going on. So you need to know that yes, this is the life God has destined for me, and I'm going to live the life. So you have to tell yourself, yes, these are the steps I need to take. I need to be intentional about my life. Healing is taking place. Yes, thank you. So any question, any contribution, anything? Question, contribution, question, contribution, anything? Yeah, so I really want to say thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I have a question now, okay? So we're waiting for your question. So I want to say thank you, and I believe you have been activated. And one thing is, God is bringing you this, God has brought you this healing so you can also go out all there to heal others. So don't keep, like I said, no part of your story or your experience is a waste. It is a ministry. We need to go out there, convert that pain to purpose, and start living your life. Convert your pain to purpose. For instance, one of us here, Catherine, she has a child who had cerebral palsy, and she converted it to purpose. And here she is. She has established her own ministry from it, striving beyond cerebral palsy. That is you don't allow the devil to keep you stuck. While you stay there, you are weeping. Oh, how can God, how can you allow this thing happen to me? How can you allow this? You are doing all that. While you are doing that, there's no time. Time is running out. You convert it, you look at it, you look at that situation and you ask yourself, how can I turn this thing around? How can I make sense out of this situation? The situation looks so ugly. What sense can I make from it? So I really celebrate the person of my sister Catherine. Yes, she's my sister from another mother. So I really celebrate her and the great work that she's doing, and I really celebrate her so much. She's one great example that we say she has converted her pain to purpose. Do you know what it means to have a child with cerebral palsy? And the child, I think she's about 16 years now. It's been a journey. It's been a hard one. But she said, no, I'm not going to stay here. I'm not going to mourn this situation. I'm going to comfort those who are in this situation and become an encourager. So that same situation you've gone through. Oh, did you suffer from physical abuse? Yes. Gather people that you can talk to. Did you suffer from sexual abuse? It should stir up a ministry in you to say, oh, this thing that happened to me, I'm going to gather teenagers, youths, and tell them about sexual purity. I'm going to tell them about the effect of all this based on your experience. See, God cannot act more than your experience, what you have experienced. That is where your testimony is. That is where it becomes so real. So don't waste any part of your journey. convert it and turn it around. So question say, how can one break free from a situation where he or she gets misunderstood always, even when your intentions are good? Yes, so there are two sides to this. Sometimes knowledge is light. There's a kind of light that knowledge gives you. So you end up being misunderstood. It could be the label, it could be what they've labeled you. It's just like somebody have already termed you that you are like this. So the Bible said that you will get what you say, even what you think. So, for instance, let me use a child now. You've already labeled the child that the child is nothing good can come out from that child. So every time, no matter what that child does, you really can't see anything good. So misunderstood. So on the part of the people, it could be that, oh, they've already labeled you in a particular way, and anything you say, they will hinge it towards that direction. It could be that. And it could also be on your own part that maybe you may need to step up in your communication style, in your for instance, coming to the Western world, I realized that communication here is different. So if you don't learn it, even in your place of work, you will be frustrated. You will think, they don't like me. Oh, racism. No, it's not like that. You need to learn the way they communicate. Yeah. So you need to learn, oh, this is how they communicate. Oh, they don't do like this. They don't like it like this. When they said this is the terminology they use for this. So you just need to learn that particular gathering or association or friendship where you are, so you won't be misunderstood. So the work comes from your end to analyze, okay, what I'm trying to communicate, is it that I'm not communicating it the right way? Yesterday we talked about what I said versus what you heard. Is it that I'm not really saying what I needed to say, or I'm not passing the message. So you need to sit back and still ask yourself. Don't, for me, is the way it works is I don't just put all the blame on everyone. Oh, you are the one that is not you don't understand me, you don't understand me. No, you sit back and ask yourself, what do I need to learn here? What's happening? Is it the communication? What's the problem? So being misunderstood, even when you have good intention. Then another last approach to this is, when Jesus came to the earth, did he have good intention? Yes. Did he execute his good intention? Yes. But people still said bad, they still misunderstood him. The scribe and the Pharisees still said things that are bad. So about him. So it's that's why I said check the people you are dealing with. You check your side and see if there's any other parts, any other character, or any other thing you need to learn. If everything is balanced, then you carry on with what you're doing, because people will always talk. And one thing is, people see you from the level that they are. People cannot think more than they know. Possibly you have outgrown their level, and they can't see you from that light, so they may tend to misinterpret whatever you say. So it all depends on the situation on ground. That's what will determine if you are being truly truly misunderstood even with good intention. But there's a kind of wisdom also. Don't waste your energy where you are not needed. For me, if you are trying to, your good intention is being spoken of, sometimes just leave that environment to help your mind. Because having done all that you need to do, and yet, because if you're not careful, it can drain you. You can be drained and you feel, let me not just even say anything again. They can actually shut you down. So that was what happened to Jesus. When he got to his own, because of over familiarity, they did not believe in him. And Jesus, what did Jesus do? He left that environment to protect his own sanity. He knows that, let me leave you first. When you see it, you will understand later. So to protect your own sanity, like I said, after having done all these check and balances, now you want to protect yourself. Just sometimes do away with that atmosphere so you are not being shut down to a place where you become silent and you don't want to say anything good again because you feel, oh my good detention. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, yeah. So, how does one deal with a spouse who is always defensive when corrected? So, so being defensive when corrected, yes, it's still trauma. Oh. To be defensive is not, nobody just want to. So, let me give an instance. There was a period where they will say people that are there was a trend I saw. Some people or lecturers that are of short stature, eh? So short stature, they tend to be more difficult. Sometimes the tall people look easygoing, but the short stature looks more difficult. Why? What happened to them is a defensive mechanism. Maybe they've seen people taking advantage of them, relegate them, talk to them anyhow because of their height, and they just want to put up a false kind of face or kind of, that kind of thing. So if somebody is defensive, it's coming from somewhere. For instance, let's assume a lady that was um let's assume which picture will I paint now? So being defensive, what I'm trying to say is if you are defensive, trace it, something is playing out. You are trying to protect something. So let's assume you were somebody that was abused in the past, greatly abused. So you will want to be defensive because you just don't want anybody to take you for granted going forward. That defense will just be there. You just want to see that no, 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 no. You just want to choose that part of being defensive. And of course, ignorance can make you to be defensive in a you can be ignorantly defensive. So understand, okay, what is playing at? Is this person ignorant? Is he ignorant that is just playing at here? So that is where we need to also work on ourselves so that you don't argue in ignorance. So ability to understand the other person is also very important. But know that anybody that is defensive, try to understand. If you can engage in a conversation to see, if you can engage that person in a conversation, dig down to the past, you will see that something happened. For instance, a lady that was raped in the past, we tend to be sexually what was the word now, hard, difficult to just get through because she has built a wall of defense. She has built a wall of defense that no, nobody, that kind of thing. So there's a wall of defense, so it becomes difficult to break through. You understand? Or you've been taken advantage of in the past and you see that such a person will struggle with submission in marriage because you just feel everybody have taken advantage of me, not anymore. So the person will struggle to want to surrender. So let's try and understand where is it coming from. And of course, if it's just due to ignorance, then you still have to work this, especially if it's a marriage kind of relationship. It becomes real work, but it's achievable. It's such a defensive person. It's not when you tell the person, you are too such a person that is defensive, shouting at that person does not even bring results because the person has already built a wall. We said yesterday that boundary is not a wall. So when we say boundary is not a wall. You are not putting a wall. You are just putting a gate that, oh, this is the way I protect my space. I protect my peace. It's not a war. But being defensive is you've put a wall, you're ready to argue out all your points. So we must understand that, oh, something happens. Let's see how we can talk it through. So shouting at that person who is defensive may not really be the best approach. Sometimes your calmness can even help. The person will be wondering, after everything, you are still calm, you are still like this. So we should not be quick to want to, you know, you give me bars, I give you bows, bars, bows, bars, bows, like that. No, you choose to be calm, and I believe the relationship will be better. But you have to walk through, you don't have to leave that person that same way. You still have to tell the person what is the problem. You just still need to know where it all started from, and see how you can help. They say, is detaching from people the best option when they seems to look down or neglect you or even take advantage of you? Sometimes it can be the best option because you need to protect your space. So, number one, you say they look down on you. Nobody wants to be in an environment where, don't stay where you are not celebrated. So when I say that, that does not mean there's no room for constructive criticism. Like, oh, if you're actually doing something wrong, yes, you should be able to tell me, you are trying, oh, but this part, something is wrong. You didn't do this one well. Somebody you should also be open to people telling you even the negative side, the side that are not too good, or not negative now, telling you your weakness so you work on it. Yes. But that this person constantly talk you down, especially you are a single, you are in a relationship, the guy always talk you down and you still want to go. No, something is wrong. You still want to marry that person, something is wrong. Don't stay there. So they talk you down, they talk the way you look down, look at how you look. They say, you don't even know anything, you are so dull, you are so, such words. You don't need to be in that. In fact, one thing with trauma, most times we are tempted to think that people that are physically traumatized are the people that have experienced trauma. The effect of emotional trauma is even more, because those words is the what it does to you is so strong. You can't you can't to heal from those words. So you don't stay in a place where you are constantly being talked down, looked down. Okay, for instance, God created everything. He is God. He created everything. And after he made man, he said everything that he created was good. Ah, ah, this is God himself. Oh. If you read through Genesis, everything good, 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 good. So who is that man that is coming to tell you that yes, you are so bad, nothing good can come out from you, you are so useless, that kind of thing. You don't need to be in that environment. So even in our relationship with God, we see that the way God carry us, the way he carries you, make you want to even love him. And this was the understanding that David had. That David said, wow. David sat on the floor. He said, God, who is man that you are so mindful of him? Who am I? That's you. You are so mindful of me. Everything I want, you have provided. So if God sees you in that light, who is one person that always wants to bring you down? You don't need to be in that space. It can actually be demoralized, and you may not actually, the best of you will not come out. The best of you will not come out. So you need to leave such environment. For me, that's it. Leave such environment. And you're not just living in unforgiveness, in anger. No, you're not living. When I say leave, I mean plug yourself into another environment where you can hear the right words. Very important. It could be like we said yesterday, it could be your church, It could be your mentor. It could be anywhere that you know that, yes, anytime I stay here, I like the way I feel. I love the way they talk to me. I love the way I feel like, yes, I'm a human being. I see reason to live again. That is the environment you need. You don't need an environment where after everything you just feel, oh, what is this life? What am I even living for? No. So for me is you have to live, because even Jesus left. He went to his own. They didn't recognize him. He will perform miracle, they will not even value the miracle. They will say, I beg. There's some will say, who are you? Do you think you are? You not the son of Joseph? And who are you? Which day here did they give birth to you? Are you not the son of the carpenter? They want to talk him down. And Jesus knew that me, I am the son of God. I knew my assignment. I know why I'm here. He just left them. So no issue, no quarrel. Jesus just left to a place where they value him. And he performed, the Bible recorded that he performed so so many miracles that the people could not even, that his own people could not even enjoy. So what it does is it will make them not to enjoy what you have. The substance that you have in your inside, they can't benefit from it. For instance, let me give an example. There was one day I met someone and the person was really very down, very low, as in not happy. So I was like, what happened? Are you okay? Are you this? Are you that? The person wasn't willing to talk. I just left the person because I feel you don't know my value now, but you will know it later. I don't know if you understand. So you don't be in a place where they talk you down or nobody know your values, nobody respect you. But like I said, there is a clause to it. If also you have weaknesses and somebody look up to you and say, sister, brother, this weakness, you need to work on it. Embrace it also with joy. So we shouldn't go about looking for only people that will tell us we are good, we are good. How can you grow? Somebody should be able to look at you and say, I love what you do. You are doing well, you are doing a good job, but I want you to work on this area. You know, for somebody that is traumatized, one issue they tend to face is in marriage is they don't want to hear that there's a part of them that is not good. You just want to hear good things. Oh, you are the best thing that has ever happened to me. You are the butterfly in my, you just want to keep hearing good things. So good things, good things. But the Bible said that that God will correct those whom he love. He said it's only a bastard that he will allow to go his own way. It's only when you are a bastard, he has given up. Nothing good can come out from it. Just okay, just go your way, just go your way, just live your life. And if God should allow you to live your life, you won't like it. So what I'm trying to say, I'm trying to give a balance to this. That in as much as we say, don't be in an environment where they talk you. That for instance, you are very saucy, you don't have respect, you don't talk to people well, or you just you are not when it comes to manner and etiquette, you are not there, and people are always like, see, it can be a bad attitude can be very repulsive. So if people are always saying, this your attitude, people can actually want to take advantage of that weakness. That's why the moment you recognize a weakness, work on it early. Or else, even somebody that is coming today will still say, bad attitude, bad attitude. Somebody meeting you for the first time, because he sees everybody saying bad attitude, he will still say bad, and you will just be drained. So if it's a weakness from your own end, quickly work on it. But if it's not, if it's a strength that they've not come to know your value, and they want to talk you down, like you said, they look down on you, they neglect you, and even want to take advantage of you, tactically detach. That is where wisdom is very important. Yes, they will mention that in setting boundaries, you have to be as wise as a serpent and as harmless like a dove. For instance, this taking advantage, people taking advantage of people. We've seen parents that take advantage of their children, you know, because you train that child. You don't want that child to live their own life. For you just want to you want to you want to you want to be the decider of that person's life. You want to still control the child, even as an adult, even in marriage. You are just taking advantage of that person. So it comes to a point where you have to put a boundary that, oh, mom, dad, I love you, but at this point, this is my life. I think this is the way I want to. And of course, like we say, honorably and respectfully create your boundaries. Yes, so I hope I was able to answer that. So I don't want us to be soaked in the fact that, oh, people call us this name. Sometimes, like the Bible said that in the word of two or three witness, a matter is established. You went to your workplace, they told you, it's like you're not pacing up. It's like you're a bit slow. You came to the house, maybe your spouse is saying, why are you slow? You need to be fast. Or you went to another occasion, you say, your friend say, why are you slow? You should not be able to sit back and say, this thing called slowness. It's like it's something I need to work on. It's like something. So at that point, you don't say, everybody is just talking down on me. Everybody is just not, everybody is just on me. As if they hate me. That means you can't grow. You grow when you sit back. Ability to sit back and analyze. Okay, this person said this the other day. This other person said it the other day. Could it be that there's something I'm struggling with in this aspect? So you should be able to sit back. Let's not, one thing I see with trauma is most times people tend to accuse others. People tend to play the blame game. You are the reason why it's like this. And it was because the way you talked to me, because you spoke to me like this, that is why I behave like this. you know, you are quick to want to play the blame game, to give the ball to the other person. If you are that type of person, you can't grow, you can't learn, and you can't strive to become the best of yourself. So ability to learn, Bible say receive with meekness, that meek heart to say, okay, let me try and understand what this person is saying. So it's also very important. I believe I've been able to answer that. Any other questions as we call it a day? Any other questions? So I want to thank you all for staying through. I really, really appreciate your time. I appreciate the fact that you have come and you dare to stay, and you stay to the end. So I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much for all you do. So for the consultation, we said we have five slots, free consultation. Yeah, so I've dropped the information on the group. I want you to expect a replay from this. Yeah, so you're gonna cash a replay from this. Yeah, especially those that did not partake. So another area I discover that people are also struggling is in the aspect of child raising, where this trauma has actually done a lot to people, and the children most times are at the receiving end. So it has led to a situation where children have become very stubborn, in quotes. So I will be coming up with a program to address both the children on a separate basis and the parent that is saying, my child is stubborn. Now I'm going to address you. Why is this child stubborn? What is the situation? What atmosphere? So I just want to allow you to know that yes, we have something coming up soon. So that group is not just stay tuned, as we'll be sending more information to you. And I want to say thank you so, so much. And of course, for the difficult child, like we said, if there's anything you've learned here, is release forgiveness to yourself. Thank you, Dolores. Thank you so much. So release forgiveness to yourself, forgive others, and start working on yourself. That is the way you can grow. Don't stay in your past. God has forgiven you. Forgive yourself. let it go, forgive others who have caused that trauma, and live your dream. Become the best version of yourself. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you at this point. I want to call it a day to say thank you so much for staying true. God bless you, and God keep you, God preserve you. The trauma is not your reality. The freedom that Christ has brought is your reality. The healing is your reality. And I want you to know that God loves you. Ah, even if nobody has ever loved you in this life, God loves you. And that is why we are here. The Bible says God sets the solitary in families. We are here as a family to tell ourselves, yes, we are greatly loved. Yes, God loves me. Yes, God loves you too. And me, I love you. You know, that kind of environment. So you don't stay in an environment where you keep hearing the wrong things, that keeps you down and low. So now we are in this kind of environment. I want you to maximize it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Shidima. Thank you so much. You stayed true from day one. I've been seeing you. I thank you for trusting me with this journey. Thank you so, so much. Thank you for a no. I've seen you time and time again. Thank you, Shiwendu Vivian. Thank you, Dolores. Thank you, everyone, for participating. I don't take this for granted, and I'm so grateful. And thank God we made it through to the last day of the Family Trauma Detox Challenge. So I want you to drop on the comment section, say how this program has blessed you, and how we can also improve on it, the areas you want us to discuss, and every other thing. So thank you so much, and have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you. So you can unmute to say your byes. Thank you.
Thank
All
you,
right.
ma. Goodbye.
Thank
Goodbye.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dolores. Thank you.